Princess Lyris's scaled hand clamped Elias Mercer's arm like a vice. Balari guards in iridescent armor flanked them, plasma lances humming as they shoved open the treaty hall's vaulted doors. Elias kept his stride even. He noted the guards' twitching mandibles. Nervous, Captain Juno Park trailed 5 meters back, her human-issue sidearm holstered but ready. Elias gave her a subtle nod. "Stay sharp." The hall erupted in murmurs. Tiered benches overflowed with Balari nobles, their multifaceted eyes glinting under hovering glow orbs. At the dais, Queen Saren Val loomed on her throne of fused crystal, her crown spines erect. Beside her, Chancellor Rune Cade smirked, claws tapping a data slate. Lyris released Elias's arm and ascended the steps. "The human consort arrives," she announced, voice echoing off the walls. Her tail flicked, disciplined but alert. Elias followed, boots silent on the polished floor. His goal: seal the treaty. One signature ended the border war. Simple logistics. Rune thrust the treaty slab forward. "Sign here, Ambassador Mercer. The sequence is set. Queen first, then consort, then witnesses." Elias scanned the holographic text. His diplomat's eye caught it instantly. A buried clause. If Lyra signed post-witnesses, it invalidated her proxy authority, handing border concessions to Run's faction. Sabotage, dressed as protocol. "No," Elias said calmly. He tapped his own slate, projecting revisions. "Queen signs first, binds the realm. I sign second, as groom consort. Lyris third, as heir. Witnesses last. Locks the chain." Gasps rippled through the hall. Rune's spines flared. "Preposterous. Tradition demands, tradition bends to peace," Elias cut in. He met the Queen's gaze. "Your war stops today. This sequence honors your house's primacy. Sign." "Your Majesty." Saren's eyes narrowed, multifaceted depths probing him. Valerie measured worth in trials. She leaned forward. "You rewrite our law in my hall? Logistics, not law." Elias kept his voice level. "One slip, and riots ignite outside. Your people starve either way." Juno shifted behind him. Her hand twitched toward her comm. Elias ignored it. "Focus." Saren's claw extended. She slashed her mark across the hollow. Elias signed next, stylus firm. Lyris followed, her signature glowing green. Witnesses scrambled forward. Rune's face twisted, but he complied. The hall exploded in cheers. Elias exhaled. "Treaty sealed." Saren rose. "Peace binds with more than ink." Her voice boomed. "The marriage oath. Now." "Public. Swear fealty to my court, human." "Bind your seed to Valerie soil." Murmurs turned hostile. Nobles leaned in, claws rasping benches. Rune grinned wider, humiliation next. Elias parsed it. Oath locked him under court control, stripping diplomatic immunity. Trap sprung. Lyris stiffened beside him, her tail coiled tight. Juno's voice hissed in his earpiece. "Elias, abort." Guards massing at exits. He ignored her. "Crisis management. Assess. Adapt."
"I swear," Elias said clearly, "to stand by Queen Saren's realm."
"To honor Princess Lyris as consort. But oaths run both ways. Your court protects my house, as mine protects yours." Saren tilted her head. Bold terms, practical ones. Elias held her stare. "War's over. Build on it." Rune snarled. "He mocks us." Lyra stepped forward. Her claw gripped Elias's wrist, firm, not crushing. "I accept the human's oath." She turned to the hall. "As heir, I bind him to our wing." "The treaty holds." Nobles hissed. Saren waved them silent. "Accepted. Escort your consort, daughter." Lyris tugged Elias toward the side archway. Guards parted. Reluctantly. Juno fell in behind, eyes scanning. They entered the royal wing's corridor. Crystal walls pulsed with inner light. Elias matched Lyris's pace. "You didn't have to. Quiet." Her voice dropped. Rune's men block the hall exits. Riots brew in the Undercity. Your rewrite saved the treaty. Now we survive the night." Elias nodded. Routine pivot. "Juno, flank right. Check for tails." "Affirm," Juno replied, peeling off to a side passage. Lyris glanced back. Her multifaceted eyes softened fractionally. "You saw the clause. No one else did. Trained for it." Elias kept walking. Patterns in chaos. She halted at a sealed door. Palm scan unlocking it. Beyond lay her chambers, Spartan, maps of border worlds pinned to walls. Rune profits from war. It tests you to break me. Elias met her gaze. He fails. A distant roar echoed, riots igniting. Windows rattled. Lyris's tail brushed his leg. Accidental? Intentional? Stay close, Elias Mercer. Trust is earned in fire. He smiled faintly. Always is. Alarms blared. Juno's voice crackled. Ambush in the east wing. Rune's guards. Lyris drew a concealed blade. With me, Elias unholstered his sidearm. Competence met competence. The real trial began. Lyris slashed low, her blade severing the ambush leader's weapon arm. Green ichor sprayed the crystal wall. Elias snap-fired his sidearm, dropping the second guard with a headshot. The third lunged at him, claws extended. He sidestepped, drove his elbow into its throat, then finished with a point-blank round. Juno burst from the side passage, rifle barking. 2 more Rune loyalists crumpled. "Clear," she shouted. Lyris wiped her blade on a fallen cloak. Her tail coiled tight, alert, not retreating. East wing secure. Throne room next. Elias reloaded smoothly. Lead. They sprinted down the pulsing corridor. Distant riots thundered like herd beasts in the Undercity. Alarms wailed. Lyris kicked open a vaulted door. Beyond sprawled the Grand Throne Hall, packed with courtiers, guards flanking a raised dais. Queen Saren Vol rose from her obsidian throne. Her multifaceted eyes locked on Elias. Crest feathers flared. "Elias Mercer, you stand accused of treaty sabotage. Approach, or forfeit the peace," courtiers hissed. Chancellor Rune Cade smirked from the prosecutor's podium, his robes embroidered with war sigils. Lyris gripped Elias's arm. "Rune's trap. He claims you altered supply clauses to starve our borders." Elias scanned the hall. Protocol boards glowed with accusation runes, falsified logs, dated 2 cycles back, standard smear. He stepped forward alone. Guards tensed but held. "State your defense, human," Saren commanded. Her voice echoed like grinding stone. Elias met her gaze, calm, routine. "Your Majesty, I request 3 items. A chronometer, the palace ledger, and 1 neutral translator." Murmurs rippled. Cade leaned forward. "Absurd. This is Val Court, not your ledger audit." Saren's feathers twitched. "Granted. Fetch them." A page scrambled. Elias waited, hands clasped. Lyris edged closer, her scent, sharp citrus and steel, brushing him. Trust flickered in her eyes. The chronometer arrived first, a hovering orb sinking to palace time. Then the ledger, a crystal slab etched with glowing supply manifests. Last, a translator drone hummed forward, its lenses neutral gray. "Rules formalized," Elias said. "Trial begins now." Cade puffed up. "Witnesses, speak." He waved forward 3 officers. His plants. "First, the human tampered with grain allotments on Cycle 47. Our troops starved. Second, water purifiers failed Cycle 52. Sabotage. Third, weapons crates empty by Cycle 60. Treason." Courtiers nodded. Saren's tail lashed. Lyris whispered, "Contradictions. Dates don't align." Elias activated the ledger. Fingers danced over runes. Translator, confirmed timestamps. The drone beeped. Cycle 47. Grain from human freighters arrived intact. Vol ports diverted 30% to Chancellor Cade's private silos. Gasps echoed. Cade snarled. "Lies," Elias scrolled. Cycle 52. Purifier serviced by Cade's contractor. Logs show bypassed filters. Profit skim. Cycle 60. Weapons delivered. Serials match your armory requisition, Chancellor. Signed by you. He tapped the chronometer. Cross-check. All dates precede my arrival by 3 cycles. I landed Cycle 63. Saren leaned forward. "Proof." Elias projected the ledger's holo. Manifests bloomed. Irrefutable chains of dates, signatures, diversions. Cade's own glyph glowed guilty on every line. Your war chest, Chancellor. Funded by shortages you engineered.
"Cade bolted upright! Forgeries!"
"Arrest him." Guards hesitated. Lyra stepped beside Elias, blade half drawn. Juno mirrored from the shadows, rifle low but ready. Saren silenced them with a claw. "Human. Explain your method." "Checklist," Elias said simply. "Verify inputs, trace outputs." Chaos sorts itself. Courtiers whispered furiously. An elder hissed to another. He unraveled Cade's web in breaths. No Val seer does that. Cade sneered. Trickery. Demand blood trial. Saren's eyes narrowed on the hollow. No. Ledger speaks true. Chancellor Cade, you stand accused. Guards, seize him. Chaos erupted. Cade's allies surged. Lyris spun. Blade out. To the throne. Elias holstered his sidearm, grabbed the ledger. Juno, cover flanks. Juno fired warning bursts. Elias vaulted a bench, ledger underarm, shoving a dagger-wielding courtier aside. Lyris fought like liquid fury, tail whipping, blade carving paths. They reached the dais. Saren drew her scepter. Energy crackling. One blast felled Cade's lead guard. Loyalists, stand down. Cade lunged for a side exit. Elias anticipated, tossed the chronometer orb. It latched to Cade's robe, beeping lockdown. Field snapped up, trapping him. Courtiers knelt. Silence fell. Saren descended, her gaze bored into Elias. You turned our trial against its architect. How? Patterns, Elias said. Anyone with logs sees them. She glanced at Lyris. Daughter, your consort proves worthy. Lyris sheathed her blade. Her hand found Elias's. Firm. Lingering. Tail brushed his calf deliberately.
He does.
Juno holstered her rifle. Situation contained, sir. Cade thrashed in the field. This changes nothing. The Undercity riots. End them, Saren ordered. Redirect those diverted supplies. Now, Elias nodded to Lyris. Treaty holds. She squeezed his hand. Trust holds. A page rushed in. Majesty. Undercity breach. Reoders at the gates. Saren's feathers flared. All to the walls. Lyris pulled Elias toward the exit. With me. He matched her stride. Competence forged in fire. But the real test loomed outside. Lyris shoved Elias through a shadowed archway, her tail coiling tight around his wrist. This way. The walls wait, but first, the rite of thorns. He stumbled into dim torchlight. Stone walls pulsed with carved vines, air thick with incense that burned his throat. No time to question. Riots hammered the distant gates. Echoes rattled the floor. She released him at a central altar, thorns twisting up obsidian pillars like frozen lightning. Only blood of the pure ascends here. Outsiders panic, fail, and the treaty crumbles. Elias scanned the right. Footprints in dust traced a spiral path. Thorns quivered, razor-edged. Her eyes locked on him, testing, waiting for cracks. He stepped forward, matched the first print. Left foot, pivot right. Thorn grazed his sleeve. Fabric tore clean. Like this? Lyris blinked, feathers ruffling. Exact. But the chant, he echoed her earlier murmur from the hall, low and rhythmic. Correction. Lower pitch. Bind breath to stone. She circled, tail flicking doubt. Elias adjusted. Voice dropped. Spiral tightened. Thorn nicked his palm. Blood welled. Dripped precise. He pressed on, copying her subtle sway. Rhythm off. Perfect.
Her voice sharpened surprise. How?
Observed you in council. Patterns repeat. Second loop. Thorns parted slightly as if yielding. Guards burst from alcoves, 4 armored in chitin plates, spears leveled. Intruder! Human taints the purity veil! Lead guard thrust at Elias's chest. Bloodline forbids. Lyris tensed, hand on her blade. He is consort. Stand down. Not without trial oath. Spear jabbed closer. Elias sidestepped, ledger still tucked under arm from the dais. Goal clear. Complete right. Protect Lyris's claim. No fight. Escalate. Lose court. He raised bloody palm. I offer bind oath. Human blood seals alien right. Witness? Guards hesitated. Lyris's tail stilled. Unprecedented. Swear it true? Elias nodded. By my ledger's truth, every log, every deal. I tread thorns for Val peace. Breach this, my blood voids the treaty. Silence stretched. Thorns hummed accepting drip. Lead guard lowered spear. Oath binds. Ascend. Elias resumed spiral. Copied Lyris's final leap. Landed center altar. Stone glowed faint blue. He knelt, offered palm to her. Right holds? She gripped it. Warmth spread. Her blood mingled. Feathers brushing his skin. It does. You. Adapted without flaw. Echoes grew. Shouts outside. Juno's voice crackled in his earpiece. Sir, rioters breach outer ward. Palace guards thin, flanks exposed. Lyris pulled him up. The right summons Ancestor's fury, but Undercity starves. Cade's work.
They won't yield. Elias wiped blade thorn residue from hands.
Supplies diverted, as logs showed. Redirect now. Queen commands walls first. Her fingers lingered on his. Tail grazed his leg again. Deliberate, possessive, they dashed out. Temple doors sealed behind with a thorn-locked thud. Courtyard chaos. Guards clashed with rag-clad rioters scaling walls. Blaster fire sizzled air. Juno vaulted a barricade, rifle sweeping.
Elias!
Cover right, bombers incoming. He snatched a fallen spear. Alien balance. Light. Flung it end over. Pinned a rioter's satchel mid-toss. Fuse fizzled out. Lyris carved through 3 foes. Blade singing. Impressive throw. Logistics. Elias grabbed her elbow. Yanked left. Trap. Floor grate. She leaped clear. Grate exploded. Shrapnel raining. You see too much. Saren appeared atop the wall, scepter blazing. Energy arcs felled a rioter wave. Consort. Supplies. Your plan, Elias shouted back. Palace stores. Grain silos. Med packs. Diverted manifests in Cade's ledger. Broadcast proof. Holo project from dais. Chancellor Cade's field prison floated nearby, dragged by guards. He sneered. Lies. Undercity hates your kind. Elias tapped his comm. Juno, slice the orb. Pull manifests. She complied. Holo bloomed. Crates rerouted. Cod seal, glaring. Gasps rippled through rioters. Saren amplified. Traitors fed you famine. Stores release now. Stand down, rioters faltered. Leaders dropped torches. One yelled, Proof? Elias tossed the ledger open. Pages flipped in wind. Every kilo accounted. Eat or fight. Surrender spread. Guards herded them. Lyris sheathed her blade, leaned close. You turned thorns to treaty? Again. Her hand found his waist. Firm anchor. Elias met her gaze. Competence bridged worlds. But a rioter captain broke free. Dagger raised at Saren's back. For the Undercity! Elias lunged. Chancellor Cade slammed his fist on the banquet table. Consort Elias! The first toast falls to you. Seal our reconciliation. Elias stood. Crystal goblets gleamed under hovering lumens. Alien nobles filled the hall. Scaled faces. Iridescent eyes fixed on him. Lyris sat beside him, her posture rigid, claws tapping her armrest. Queen Saren watched from the dais, scepter idle. He lifted his goblet. The shared decanter waited center table, poured by Cade's aides. Sweet nectar scent hit his nose. Too floral, off by a note. Routine check. Elias palmed his analyzer from his cuff. Discrete slab, human tech. Beam to scan. Screen flickered. Alkaloids, neurotoxin trace. Lethal dose for Val physiology. He halted the pour midstream. Droplets hung. Not this vintage. Cade's scales flushed violet. What insult. Our finest stock. Contaminated. Elias held up the analyzer. Red alert pulsed. Trace neurotox. Enough for the table. Gasps rippled. Lyris's hand shot to her blade. Saren leaned forward, eyes narrowing. Cade barked a laugh. Human toy lies! Pour on! A server lunged. Too fast. Blade flashed from his sleeve. Chaos erupted. Nobles screamed. Chairs toppled. Assassins surged from side doors. Cloaks shedding. They triggered the stampede. Overturned braziers. Smoke billowing. Cover for blades. Elias grabbed Lyris's wrist. Down! He yanked her under the table. Hooves thundered. Guests fleeing. Trampling. An assassin vaulted toward them. Poison vial raised. Juno's voice crackled in his earpiece. Elias. East wing clear? I've got perimeter locked. Negative. Hall breach. Choke points now. Elias rolled left, snatched a fallen tray, shielded Lyris as the assassin slashed. Metal rang. Lyris countered. Her blade whipped out, severed the assassin's wrist. Vial shattered, green foam sizzling on stone. Service corridors. Go, Elias nodded. He knew the palace blueprints. Scanned on arrival. Guards! Archway left. Funnel them. Captains hesitated, eyes on Cade. The Chancellor retreated behind his detail, shouting orders. Secure the Queen! Human's fault. Saren blasted an arc from her scepter. 2 assassins dropped, convulsing. Obey the consort, guards surged. Elias directed. Bottleneck the east arch. Spears crossed. West doors. Barricade with tables. They moved, forming lines. Stampede slowed. Assassins trapped. Lyris pulled him toward the kitchens. This way! They dashed through swinging doors. Steam blasted. Cooks fleeing. Elias scanned corners. Trap potential. Juno. Flank us. Affirm. 2 minutes. A side panel groaned. Assassin burst through. Axe swinging. Elias sidestepped. Tripped him into a boiling vat. Scald scream echoed. Lyris sealed the door. You fight like you plan.
Same skill.
He pried open a grate. Service tunnel. Narrow. In. Queen. Next. They crawled. Dim glow strips lit the way. Distant shouts faded. Lyris's breath. Rasp ahead. Cade's work. He hosted this. Proof in the analyzer log. Elias tapped his comm. Juno, grab Cade's server. Vile residue. Copy. He's squirming. Tunnel ended at a lift. Elias punched the override. Human code sliced in days ago. Ascended smooth to Royal Wing. Guards met them. Saren strode up, robe singed. Report. Poison in the decanter. Assassins covered with stampede. Elias synced his analyzer to her scepter. Data beamed. Neurotox signature matches Undercity black market. Cade's ledgers had the contacts. Lyra straightened beside him. Her hand brushed his arm. Lingered. You saw it first. Saved us all. Saren's gaze pierced. Again. Human. Competence without fanfare. Katie burst in. Guards dragging him. Lies. Frame job. Elias held up the analyzer. Fresh scan of Kate's sleeve. Residue match. Your print on the vial crate. Manifests don't lie. Cade snarled. Peace was fragile. You shatter it. Saren's scepter hummed. You did. Cells await. As guards hauled him away, Lyris turned to Elias. Her eyes softened. First unguarded spark. I tested you. War bride to stranger. No more. She stepped close. Claws retracted. Her lips brushed his cheek. Vol seal of trust. Warmth spread. Elias met her gaze. Treaties holding. Juno's voice cut in. Perimeter secure. But scout drone pinged the walls. Bombers inbound. Cade's diehards. Sarian world. Defenses! Elias already moved. Choke points again. Lyris. With me. Her hand gripped his. They ran. Elias sprinted down the corridor, Lyris's grip iron on his hand. Alarms wailed. Distant booms shook the walls, bombers breaching the outer ramparts. Left flank, Elias barked. He yanked her into a side passage, analyzer beeping threat vectors. Juno, drone feed. Juno's voice crackled through his earpiece. 2 squads inbound, east gate. Cade's diehards, armed with plasma lances. Lyris' claws extended, eyes glowing violet. She slammed a bulkhead panel, sealed, redirects them to the atrium trap. Elias nodded, punching coordinates into his wrist unit. Human override codes lit the defense's grid, turrets whirred to life. Funnels them into kill box 3. Your engineers primed it? Always. Lyris flashed fangs. Approval. They dashed to the overlook balcony. Below, shadows swarmed the atrium. Diehards fired wildly. Turrets spat fire. Bodies crumpled. One bomber broke through. Lance charging. It locked on them. Elias shoved Lyris aside. He rolled, drew his stunner, and fired mid-tumble. The bolt hit true. Lance exploded in the intruder's grip. Shrapnel rained. Silence fell. Cheers echoed from Vol guards. Lyris rose, unscathed. Her tail coiled around his waist, possessive. You move like Undercity prey. Logistics. Elias synced data to Juno. Perimeter holding. Sarian's voice cut through comms. Royal vault. Now. Elias alone. Lyris tensed. Mother. Now. Go. Rally your squads. She released him. Reluctance in her gaze. He followed guards to the vault lift. The chamber hummed. Force fields glowed blue. Saren paced. Scepter clutched. Singed robes hung loose. Her crown spines bristled. Close it. Doors sealed with a hiss. Elias stood straight. No salute. Humans didn't bow. Saren whirled. Katie rots in cells. Your evidence damns him. Poison, bombers, all traced. Her eyes narrowed. Golden slits. Yet whispers persist. Human sabotage.
You wed my daughter for border scraps. Elias met her stare.
Whispers from who? You know. She stepped close. Scepter humming scan. Confess. Name your handlers. I dissolve the marriage. You walk free. Peace holds. On my terms. Air thickened. Her deal. Out for betrayal admission. Frame himself. Save face. Elias tapped his analyzer. No handlers. But leaks like this, they breed doubt. He projected hollow. Cade's ledgers. Vile traces. Drone logs. Poison was black market. Your court's rotten deeper. Saren's spines flattened. Prove it. Joint commission. Vol and human reps. Shared evidence custody. Chained data blocks. No solos. We audit palace manifests. Undercity suppliers. Cross-checks catch the puppeteers. She circled him. You dictate terms? System works. Your analysts verify chains. Mine log custody. Catches frames before they spread. Saren halted. Scepter dimmed. Cade profited from war, if more like him. Doors hissed. Lyris strode in, flanked by 2 aides.
He speaks truth, Mother.
I anchor him. Saren arched a brow ridge. Princess consort? Equal authority. My seal on commissions. Elias leads logistics. I command Vol enforcers. Lyris positioned beside him, shoulder to shoulder. Her scent, spice and ozone, filled his space. Elias felt her warmth.
No longer test, partner.
Saren waited. Bold, court will howl. Human at heart. Lyris's tail flicked. Let them. Treaty binds us. Aide burst forward, tablet glowing red. Highness, leak from cells. Cade's proxy, holo report. Claims Elias planted evidence. Human betrayal vid, time-stamped pre-poison. Saren snatched it. Holo played. Elias's face, forged voice. Strike the decanter. Blame Cade. Gasps rippled. Saren's scepter flared. Fabrication, but court sees it now. Assemblies demand blood. Yours or treaties. Elias pulled fresh scans. Timestamp. Glitch. Pixel artifacts. Undercity hack signature. Matches Cade's suppliers. Lyris overlaid palace cams. No record of vid drop. Proxy signal from his wing. Saren's gaze pierced Elias. Fast choice human. Dissolve now, or commission launches amid riots? Launch it. Elias synced all data to her scepter. Chained blocks locked, immutable. Custody shared. We exposed the leak source. Live court watches. Lyris gripped his arm. Claws sheathed. Together. Sarian nodded once. Scepter pulsed command. Assemble the court. Commission forms. Human leads evidence. Lyris enforces. Doors unsealed. Murmurs swelled outside. Juno's voice pinged Elias private. Riots brewing East Quad. Your play? Secure the feeds. Elias glanced at Lyris. Her eyes held his. Trust forged. They stepped out as holoscreens ignited palace-wide. Commission banner glowed. Vol human seal. Crowd hushed. First audit flashed. Cade's proxy account. Funds traced to rival Lord Borderhawk. Gasps turned to snarls. Saren raised scepter. Truth unmasks. Lyris leaned close. Breath warm on his neck. You saw the system before the strike. Elias smiled faint. Routine. Her hand slipped into his. Claws traced his palm. Val vow. Alarms blared anew. Scout drone feed. Armored convoy at gates. Lord Vexar demands audience. Armed. Saren's spines rose. The real enemy surfaces. Elias cued commission protocols. Invite him in. Under audit. Gates groaned wide. Armored skiffs surged through, Lord Vexar's banner snapping in the wind. Elias stood beside Lyris on the dais, scepter feeds live to the court. Holoscreens flickered palace-wide, commission protocols chaining every transmission. Vexar, Saren called from her throne. Spines flared. State your grievance. Under audit. Vexar leaped down, robes swirling. His entourage fanned out. 50 warriors, claws bared, plasma lances humming. The treaty mocks us. Human puppets steal our borders. Elias tapped his wrist slate. Signal traces spiked. Kade's proxy routed through Vexar's comms. Bait taken. Lyris squeezed his hand. Her claws pricked light. Alert, not fear. They test us. Log it all, Elias murmured. He pinged Juno. East quad secure? Affirm. Riots contained. Your ghost feeds holding. Vexar stalked forward. Dissolve the marriage. Execute the off-worlder. Court murmurs boiled. Saren's scepter glowed. Evidence first, Lord. Commission rules. Elias overlaid the palace grid on his slate. Signal routes snaked like veins. Quantum relays in walls, vents, throne room nodes. He'd mapped them last night, tracing maintenance logs during the signing feast. Routine audit prep. One tap rerouted Vexar's channel. All transmissions funneled to his secure buffer. Recorded. Chained. Cade shifted in the shadows, eyes darting to his aides. Elias caught the flick. A subtle hand signal. Chancellor to loyalists. Proxy confirmed, Elias said aloud. Holoscreen zoomed. Funds from Cade's accounts to Vexar's skiffs, time-stamped. Vexar snarled. Lies. Seize the archives. Prove it. His warriors lunged, not at the throne. Straight for the vault wing. Alarms wailed. Court scattered. Lyris drew her blade. Scales rippling. Elias, stay with Saren. He pulled her back. I've got this. Juno's team burst from side doors, human tack vests blending with ball guards. Blaster fire cracked. Elias dove into the grid. Emergency overrides. Palace protocols for siege. He'd skimmed them en route from Earth. Standard for treaty hosts. Thumbprint scan. Access granted. Vault corridor doors slammed shut, sealed with kinetic locks. Mercs pounded fists. Elias vented the outer hall. Nitro gas flushed. Non-lethal. From fire suppression, bodies slumped. Vexar's lead squad hit the inner relay. Elias isolated power. Lights died. Emergency bulkheads dropped, boxing them in. Cade bolted for the exit. Elias flagged his signal. Reroute complete. Chancellor's orders captured. Take the vaults. Blame the human. Live feed pushed to screens. Court froze. Saren rose. Chancellor, explain. Cade whirled. Fabrication! Elias stepped forward, slate projecting the sting. Your faction comms, rerouted and logged. Merc orders. Seize archives by force. Time-stamped to your seal. Lyris flanked him, blade low. Her gaze locked on his, shock widening to respect. You mapped the palace nets? In hours? Routine logistics. Elias kept eyes on Vexar. The Lord hammered a door panel. Sparks flew. Juno's voice crackled private. Vault secure. 5 tangos down. Rest gassed. Your override saved us a firefight. Good. Cycle air in outer hall. Detain. Vexar's warriors regrouped at the dais edge. Plasma wind charge. Elias hit full lockdown. Throne room shield snapped up. Energy lattice from ceiling nodes. Outer palace sealed. No signals out. The entire grid bowed to his slate. Palace under his control. Warriors halted. Vexar gaped. What sorcery? Engineering, Elias said. Your skiffs are grounded. Gates locked. Court gasped. Saren's spines smoothed. Human command overrides Baal protocols? Shared access, Elias said. Treaty clause. Crisis management. Cade sneered. Paper pusher tricks. The court sees weakness. Lyris laughed. Sharp. Genuine. She sheathed her blade. Pressed against Elias's side. Her tail coiled his leg. Vol intimacy. Weakness. He caged your plot without a shot. Juno dragged in a coughing merc. Tattoos matched Cade's suppliers. Talk's easy now. Elias cued interrogations. Feeds chained to commission blockchain. Immutable. Vexar dropped to knees. Mercy Queen. Cade promised borders. Saren's scepter pulsed. Guard seized the Lord. Cade thrashed as claws pinned him. You lured them, Lyris whispered. Her breath ghosted his ear. Mapped our secrets. Took the palace. Partnership. Elias synced data to her vambrace. Your cams gave the angles. She traced his jaw with a claw. Gentle. My husband sees systems we miss. Court, chanted now. Truth. Vol human, Saren silenced them. Commission expands. Elias directs security audits. Lyris, bind the traitors. Lyris nodded, eyes never leaving Elias. As you command, Mother. Alarms pinged anew. Juno's feed. Outer gates rattled. Cade's reserves, 200 strong. Elias smiled. Grid ready. Invite them too. But a new signal pierced the shields. Off-world relay. Human embassy mark. Juno's voice urgent. Alias, Earth fleet inbound. They heard the riots. Demanding status. Lyris slammed the holographic projector onto the court's central dais. Ghostly feeds bloomed. Cade's encrypted calls to off-world mercenaries, timestamps matching the riots. Gasps rippled through the assembled nobles. Elias stood at her side, vambrace linked to the display, cueing the next clip. Cade's voice promising border concessions for Vol sabotage. Queen Saren's eyes narrowed from her throne. Chancellor, explain. Kade twisted in the guard's grip, scales paling. Fabrications. Human hacks. Elias stepped forward, court eyes locked on him. The off-world groom and simple diplomat graze. Lawful surrender, Chancellor. Confess now. Commission amnesty applies to first disclosure. He tapped his vambrace. Public blockchain lit up, live-streamed to every Vol terminal. No deletions possible. Cade's tail lashed. You dare dictate terms? Standard protocol. Elias pulled up the treaty clause. Article 17, Crisis Transparency. Sign the waiver, name your contacts. Walk free under house arrest. Lyris's claw grazed Elias's arm. Support, not restraint. Her scent, sharp citrus and steel, cut the court's incense haze. Juno flanked them, rifle slung low, her feed patching through palace cams. Rune Kade scanned the projections. Merc rosters. Payment ledgers. His own sigil, sweat, beaded on his frills. Coordinated stability measures. Public admission. Elias nodded to Juno. She broadcast the reserves approach. 200 hostiles massing at the gates. Drone circling. Saren's scepter hummed. Full truth, Cade. Or join the traitors in the void. Cade sagged. I hired them to fracture the treaty. Profit from war contracts. The blockchain stamped it immutable. Cheers erupted, wary at first, then thunderous. Alarms spiked again. Juno's voice cut through. Elias fleet's here. Earth battle group, weapons hot, demanding entry. Elias raised a hand. Silence fell. Patch them to court feed. He synced his comms. Captain Hale's face appeared. Stern, fleet commander. Mercer. Status. Conspiracy exposed. Cade confessing. Reserves inbound. Our grid has them. Elias shared the palace defenses. Auto turrets primed. Drone swarms queued. Voltec meshed with human algorithms. Bale grunted. Stand down. Confirmed. Affirmative. Invite the reserves inside. Amnesty broadcast live. Saren leaned forward. Human. You command my fleet now? Partnership. Elias gestured to Lyris. Her cams, your shields, our code. Gates open. Lyris nodded. Her tail brushed his calf. Claim laid bare. Open them. Gates groaned wide. Reserves poured in, weapons dropping as holograms blared Cade's confession. Drones herded them to Kneeler's pens. No shots fired. Juno smirked. Logistics win again. Saren rose. Scribes wheeled out the treaty plinth. Final amendments glowing. The peace holds. Chancellor Cade, stripped of title, rot in the cells. Guards dragged him out, his snarls fading. She dipped her claw into the signing ink, iridescent Val blood serum. Scratched her mark. Then slid the plinth to Elias. Co-guarantor, bind it. Elias signed crisp human script. Blockchain sealed it galaxy-wide. Court knelt as one, frills low. Peace achieved. Saren intoned. Elias Mercer, director of audits. Legend. Of the Vol Court. Lyris gripped his hand. Claws retracted. Gentle. My chosen. She pulled him forward past the kneeling ranks. Tails parted like waves. Nobles bowed deeper. Chants rising. Vol human, Vol human. Elias matched her stride. Her warmth pressed close. Tail coiling his waist now. Public vow. Juno trailed. Rifle at rest. At the throne dais, Saren clasped his shoulder. I sought a hostage. You built an empire. Lyris's laugh rang out. She tilted his chin, lips brushing his ear. Stay. Rule with me. Outer screens flickered. Earth fleet saluted. Docking protocols green. Reserves disarmed. Integrated into labor crews. Blockchain tallied. 0 casualties. Elias synced final reports. Treaty live. Audit start dawn. But a shadow pinged his vambrace. Cade's hidden vault. Auto unlocked by confession. Coordinates blinked. Enemy dreadnought. Cloaked in system. Lyra saw it too. Her eyes gleamed. Together, he smiled. Always.